Thank you, Greg. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this next exciting session. Which giants will dominate tomorrow's entertainment? This session will focus on exploring how advancements in the creator economy, AI, and audience dynamics are reshaping the global entertainment landscape. We have two influential leaders in the entertainment sector with us to discuss these shifts and what the future will hold. I please welcome my speakers and panelists to the center of the stage, please. Let's give them a big round of applause, please. Thank you.
Whoops. There we go.
All right. I welcome, of course, Aron, known for his resilience in navigating AMC through unprecedented challenges like the global pandemic. Of course, Aron is the CEO of AMC, and I'm very happy to have you here. Of course, we have Eliah Seton, the CEO of SoundCloud.
Hello.
Also a pleasure. First time in Saudi?
It is. It's been an extraordinary experience. Very, very much appreciative to FII in the kingdom.
Amazing. Very happy to have you here. Adam, we are fellow Coloradoans.
We are indeed. I spent you studied in Colorado. I spent 10 years in Colorado running a wonderful company called Vail Resorts that operated some of the best ski resorts in the world.
And I skied there.
Colorado-based.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, today we're talking about entertainment and the future of entertainment. I'll start right away. We only have 20 minutes, so we'll jump to the questions and the answers. And Adam, I would start with you. How is AMC adapting to the evolving consumer preference today for at-home streaming versus the traditional theater experience?
So in that score, I have nothing but good news to report, because the movie industry started over 100 years ago, about 110 years ago. And over and over again, people have forecasted that movie theaters would die and would cease to exist. And it happened when radio was created in the 1930s, and it happened when television was created, and it happened when VCRs were created, and it happened when they made DVDs. And if you go back a few years, people were saying that streaming, when people could watch movies at home, would be the end of theaters. And through all of that, theaters have been terrifically resilient, and we've survived, and we've made it, because people want to get out of their houses, and they want to go to a theater with other people and laugh together and cry together. And nowhere is that more obvious and clear than here in Saudi Arabia, where AMC opened movie theaters in 2018 for the first time in almost 4 decades. A big success here in Saudi and the world over. Our job to compete with streaming is just make it a wonderful experience to go to a theater and have a good night out of house.
So basically, have fun with the journey.
Yes, and we can do a lot to make going to a theater a nicer experience. So for example, my company, AMC, is the largest movie theater chain in the world. We're AMC in the United States, we're AMC here in Saudi Arabia, we're Odeon throughout Europe, especially in the United Kingdom. A lot of smaller name brands, but we have a 75% market share in Scandinavia, and we're the largest guys in Italy and Spain.
Right.
And we can make our theaters better. So we have more what are called premium large format screens than any other movie theater chain in the world. And that's IMAX and Dolby Cinema and other house brands of ours. People love seeing movies on a big screen. If we make our food better, we make our drink better, we make our screens bigger, introduce laser projection with best sound systems, it gets people out of the house. They go to theaters just like they've been doing for a century.
Amazing. As a Saudi filmmaker today with 2 movies out the past 5 years, this sounds like music to my ear. Speaking about music, let's talk about SoundCloud.
Good segue.
SoundCloud is known, Eliah, for supporting independent artists. How do you balance fostering new talent with meeting mainstream commercial demands today?
So there really is, I think, a convergence between supporting artists who are up and coming and independent artists and the mainstream artists and rights holders. And I'll take a big step back to explain where that convergence comes from. SoundCloud, which operates in 193 markets around the world. We have two sides to our house, two business segments, what we call our fan business and our creator business.
Yeah.
Our fan business is a streaming platform. It has an ad-supported tier, which is what exists here in Saudi and largely in the region, and then tiers of subscription. What differentiates us from a typical streaming platform like a Spotify or an Apple is we have 4 times as much music, so over 400 million tracks, and that's largely UGC, user-generated content. These are the aspiring artists. So we've got both the Taylor Swift and the Beyoncés, in case that's what you're looking for. We have the next Taylor Swift and the next Beyoncé. And 85% of our global listening is against that new music, the user-generated content. So the second side of our business is our creator business, and that's where 40 million artists around the world are trying to get heard, trying to find fans. A handful of them are the blockbuster artists you've heard of, and we certainly seek to serve them, but the vast majority of them are these long-tail creators, aspiring musicians who want to find their fans and build their fan base. And ultimately, because we are that source of music discovery, we're a platform that brings all these fans and all these artists together directly in one place. Because we're this primary source of music discovery, we end up being a day one for artists who are looking to get their start. And some of those artists become those mainstream artists you mentioned. Their first fans, their most passionate fans, are at SoundCloud. So they keep coming back. And we just, Billie Eilish, global superstar, just released her 3rd studio album this past summer, and we were central to that story. And the reason we were central to that story is we found her first 100 followers on the platform. Before she was known, before she thanked SoundCloud from the Grammy stage, her first 100 fans when she was a bedroom artist. And we gave them exclusive content to Billie's music and to Billie herself. SoundCloud's where she comes to find those fans again. So there's this convergence of being able to serve Billie before anybody knows her, and then to be her home once she's one of the biggest stars in the world.
What an interesting story. Jumping back to AMC, Adam, I want you to share the vision for AMC's role in the future of immersive and interactive cinema experiences. Maybe you mentioned that a little bit in your first answer,
Sure.
but let's go deeper into it.
But before I do, when you mentioned Taylor Swift and Beyonce and Billie Eilish as the only 3 names that you mentioned, my company usually shows movies. We don't usually make movies. But in 2023, last year, our company, for the first time in 103 years, made our first movie.
Really?
And it was Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour movie.
It's where we met.
And then 6 weeks after that, we did Renaissance, a film by Beyonce. And 6 months after that, we did a listening event where the only one we've done up to that point, where Billie Eilish's new album was released at AMC theaters on an incredible Dolby sound system.
You should have mentioned my name somewhere, you know.
So I love the 3 names that you mentioned, because those are our 3 names.
This is where you intersect.
There's
But
good
in terms of sort of our vision and our future, this is the 9th year that I've run AMC Entertainment. And when I joined AMC, we were the 2nd largest movie theater chain in the United States, and we had no movie theaters outside the US. And on my watch, during my reign as CEO of AMC, we've become the largest movie theater chain in the world, with operations as the largest movie theater chain in the US, the largest movie theater chain in Europe. We're here in the Middle East, and we're the largest globally. So our vision of the future was laid out really in my first weeks as CEO. I said to our people at a big company-wide meeting, I want us to become the biggest and best movie theater company on the planet. And I know we've become the best. That's undisputable, because we have more theaters than anybody else. But I'd like to think that we're also the best. And that's because we believe in the quality of our product. And we believe in, as a company, we believe in innovation. And so all the time, we're looking for how can we make the movie-going experience at a theater better for our guests? Yeah. What can we do that's new, that's different, that's fresh, that will get people excited about leaving their house and going out to a theater? Yeah. And right now, the single best thing that we can do is very comfortable seating, At over half of the AMC theaters in the United States, for example, your seats go fully back, and it's 2 meters of legroom between this row of seats and that row of seats. So it's very spacious, very plush, very comfortable. Second, we've really invested heavily, about $500 million in giant screens, because there's nothing like watching a movie on the big screen, and the biggest screen is even better. And then something that we're in the middle of right now is we're upgrading all of our auditoriums to laser projection. Okay. Because laser projection is not only better for the environment, it consumes less energy, and the old halogen bulbs which you had to, or xenon bulbs that you had to throw in a landfill and they would sit there for 100 years.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen with laser projection. But as important as anything, laser projectors throw 50 to 100% more light on the screen, which means that the picture on the screen is sharper and brighter.
Amazing.
And that's what makes movie-going a wonderful thing.
Amazing. Indeed, it is very comfortable to go to an AMC theater. All right, let me ask AI quickly, and then we'll jump to SoundCloud and end this session. What strategic shifts are required for legacy entertainment companies like AMC to remain competitive with tech-driven entertainment giants? Sophia has something to say about this.
Good afternoon, Yasir, Adam, and Eliah. AI-driven upstarts are feasting on market share. With 62% of Gen Z favoring user-generated content, and VR and AR blurring the line between reality and digital fantasy, legacy giants face extinction, desperately needing to adapt in order to avoid becoming cultural fossils in the digital age.
Agree or disagree?
This is the happiest moment that I've had in months.
Great.
Because I can disagree with Miss AI and tell her that
Sophia.
artificial intelligence in this case is wrong. We're not going to be a cultural fossil because we will do what is necessary to make sure that going to a theater is a great experience. And I might add, the consumer's appetite for content is so voracious. It's so big. There is room enough for all of us. Right. There'll be plenty of room for streaming companies. There'll be plenty of room for other forms of entertainment, but we will still survive. We won't become a fossil.
All right, we'll have the fight in the back, me and you and Sophia. But let me jump to SoundCloud quickly and ask you, what innovations do you envision for creating closer fan-artist interactions, as you mentioned, and monetizing those relationships?
This is the future. I would certainly say that the next revenue format in music is going to be this notion of artist-to-fan monetization. At SoundCloud, we call this C to F, creator to fan. And the underlying premise for us is that streaming is not enough in music. And tons of ink has been spilt on the notion that streaming is not enough for artists. Unless you are a household name, artists don't earn enough from streaming. It is 85% of tracks make less than $5. 80 million tracks get less than 100 plays at all. So this is pennies, if that. We also have the conviction at SoundCloud that streaming is not enough for fans. And along the lines of what Adam expressed around the desire of consumers to have an experience, you know, if anybody wants to, in this room, as a fan of an artist, a musical artist, if you want to spend $100 on your favorite artist right now on your phone while we're in the room, it's very hard to do that in music. In other creator verticals, there have been opportunities to do that, like Patreon, but in music, it doesn't exist. And yet, fandom is as old as the history of commercial music. And in certain markets, Greater China is one of them, you have platforms like Tencent Music, which are beginning to monetize music and content beyond streaming. So streaming ARPU at Tencent Music is the equivalent of $1, and non-streaming ARPU is the equivalent of $25. This is 25 to 1 how much fans want to use their wallet to express their fandom. And for us at SoundCloud, that is core to who we are. We are a two-sided marketplace, the only two-sided marketplace in music, where we are bringing tens of millions of artists and hundreds of millions of fans together directly. Traditional streaming platforms don't have direct access to artists and creators. Traditional music companies like labels, content owners do not have direct access to the end user, to the consumer, to the fan.
Okay.
We are a platform that brings them together. So we're very well positioned to start to monetize that relationship and put new dollars in artists' pockets, because streaming's not enough for those artists, and give fans new ways to express their fandom, because streaming's not enough for fans.
Amazing.
This will start with analog, like fulfilling merch, and we opened a merch store a couple months ago, creating exclusive content, exclusive ticket sales opportunities. But where this is heading is an immersive experience, where your SoundCloud user profile avatar wears a, pick your favorite artist t-shirt that day for a couple SoundCloud pennies. And trillions of those interactions in the app will make up what we believe is the future of fandom. And that's the next big revenue format coming in music.
Great way to monetize. Just to end this, how does SoundCloud leverage data and AI to shape its platform offerings and provide personalized user experience? Is that an example?
It is. I think we are an AI company, and I would say that that comes in two forms. One, AI is going to be the great democratizer of music creation. Historically, to be a music creator, you had to know how to play instruments, read music, afford a studio, then afford expensive software, know other people who could do those things. Now, to be a music creator, you need access to a free app.
Great.
And music creation is going to grow by 10x in the next few years, because AI is enabling the gamification of music. Playing with a hook, playing with a beat, playing with lyrics, socially engaging with other fans. And that will increase the total addressable market for creators. But where we're an AI company is we are able to find an artist their first fans. We know everything about the hundreds of millions of fans on the platform and everything about the hundreds of millions of tracks on the platform, and we can connect them using our AI. And as a home for music discovery, that's incredibly valuable. For artists who are looking to find their fans, we can get them heard. And that's a major part of our story.
Amazing. It's clear that the entertainment industry stands an exciting crossroads, with technology and audience preference continually reshaping its landscape. Which giants will dominate tomorrow's entertainment? Ladies and gentlemen, Adam, Aron, Eliah Seton, thank you so much. CEO of SoundCloud, CEO and President of AMC Entertainment. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Yasir.
Thanks so much. It's great.
You did a great job.
Thank you so
Yes, sir.
much.